You've booked the flights, you've packed the bags. Honestly, you've probably repacked them twice. But if you haven't done these 12 things, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Just like forgetting to dump your water before going through TSA. Embarrassing, annoying, and completely avoidable. I've made enough of these mistakes myself to know exactly where first timers fall apart. I'm Karen, and this checklist is everything I wish I had before my first trip abroad. I've been traveling for 32 years to 22 countries and counting, usually off the beaten path, and I've definitely made a lot of these mistakes personally. Let's start with the one that can end your trip before it begins: your passport. You need to make sure your passport is valid for at least 6 months beyond your travel dates. A lot of countries will turn you away at the gate if you don't have that buffer. Visas. Don't assume. Look up your destination's requirements on their actual government website. Electronic arrival forms are catching a lot of people off guard. Thailand and the EU just launched theirs. These are separate from your visa, required before you land, easy to miss if you're not looking for them. A solid thing to do is to take a photo of your passport, email it to yourself. Then if it gets lost or stolen, you'll be glad you did. Another thing you need to do is make sure you have travel insurance. And I know you're rolling your eyes, it feels like the gym membership of travel. But medical care abroad can be genuinely catastrophic without coverage. One emergency room visit in the wrong country can wipe your entire budget and follow you home as debt. I was recently in Vietnam, and a woman got on the elevator with a fresh cast on her leg, still pretty out of it from the doctor's office. I don't know if she broke it that day or what, but all I could think was, gosh, I hope she has insurance. Look for a policy that covers emergency medical, trip cancellation, and evacuation. The last one people always skip. Getting airlifted out of somewhere remote is not cheap. World Nomads and Safety Wing are both solid options for budget travelers. Read the fine print on adventure activities, especially anything involving motorbikes. Now let's talk about your banking and credit cards. A frozen credit card abroad is a special kind of stress you do not need. Tell your bank you're traveling before you leave. Some will freeze your account the second they see an international charge flagged as suspicious. Call them, use the app, just do it, and try to look into travel-friendly cards. Or Charles Schwab has a debit card that reimburses ATM fees. Wise is great for spending across multiple currencies. Neither of those is a sponsorship, they're just genuinely useful, and I wish I'd known about them earlier. Always carry more than one credit card and keep them in separate places. One in your wallet and one tucked in your luggage. If one gets frozen or lost, you have a backup. This has saved me more than once. Cash is its own conversation. A lot of local vendors, local market stalls, and tuk-tuks can't break large notes, so small bills matter more than you think. Here's one most people don't know. Check with your bank, but many of them will let you order foreign currency before you leave home. You can request small bills specifically and show up in a location with local cash already in your pocket. So much better than scrambling at the airport. Speaking of airports, try to skip the currency exchange booths. Those big no commission signs mean the terrible rate is baked into the exchange instead. Pull cash from a bank-affiliated ATM once you're in the city. Or you can bring US cash and exchange it. Just note that the bills must be perfect. No marks, tears, or even wrinkles. And you have to bring your passport. So your phone's super important. It's your map, your translator, it has your booking confirmations, it's your lifeline. And if it doesn't work, everything falls apart at once. I learned this in Peru. I stepped off the plane. No signal, no data. Suddenly my maps, my hotel, and my ability to communicate with anyone were all gone. I was standing there with a very expensive brick in my hand. And before you say, just grab a map at a gas station, they don't have those anymore. So that was not a fun situation. Now I have T-Mobile's international plan, which helps, but it works better in some countries than others. We were just in Southeast Asia. It was fine in China, fine in Thailand. Vietnam, not so much. I keep Airlo on my phone as a backup. It's an app where you buy local eSIM data packages before you leave. When my plan isn't cutting it, I fire up Airlo and I'm connected in minutes. Make sure on your phone you also download offline maps before you go, regardless. Subways, tunnels, remote areas, offline maps work when nothing else does. And bring a battery bank. All of these apps drain your phone. Another thing that you're going to need is a travel adapter. This one will ruin your first morning if you forget it. Different countries use different plug shapes and different voltages. Europe, the UK, Australia, Southeast Asia all use something different. No adapter means nothing charges. Get a universal adapter before you leave. It's $20 on Amazon. Check your devices for the 100 to 240 volt on the brick. Most modern electronics are fine, but hair tools especially are often single voltage and they will not survive the difference. Let's talk about planning your route. Where you are going, in what order, and does it make geographic sense? A lot of first-timers book their flights, find a top 10 list, and then wing everything in the middle, which can lead to spending 2 days backtracking across a country. My personal weakness is I always underestimate drive times. I'll look at a map, see 2 points that look close, and completely forget that roads abroad aren't always highways. Mountain roads, city traffic, it adds up fast. Get drive times wrong and you spend the whole day with your butt in a seat instead of actually exploring. Look up the actual drive time, not just the distance. If you're renting a car, sort these 3 things out before you go. 1, an international driving permit. A lot of countries require one. You can get it through AAA in the US, and you cannot get it once you get there. 2, check your credit card benefits. Many travel cards include collision coverage when you pay for the rental with that card, which means you can decline the expensive supplemental insurance the rental company pushes at the counter. 3, what side of the road are you driving on? In the UK, Australia, Japan, much of Southeast Asia, left side. You pull out of a parking lot on autopilot and your brain completely short circuits. Spend an hour with a map before you go. Group things by region. Build in buffer time. An itinerary that requires perfect execution of every connection will fall apart. Check the weather. People show up to monsoon season in Southeast Asia in sandals every year. Don't be that person. It was England, July. I thought, it's summer, I'll be fine. I packed 1 pair of long pants, came straight from 90-degree weather at home, and could not mentally process that it would be 60 degrees in the middle of July. A rain jacket strapped to the outside of my pack, my one saving grace, and it got stolen on day 2. I was broke, freezing, and had 10 more days to go. Miserable. On a side note, England did give me one thing I genuinely loved. Tankless water heaters. Unlimited hot water every shower. Research your specific travel window, not just the destination. Watch for microclimates too. In Thailand and Vietnam, the coast is sweltering while the mountains can be genuinely cold, sometimes on the same day. Know the region, not just the country. I always pack tights now no matter where I'm going. They compress to nothing and layer under almost anything. Another thing is to learn about the culture. Learn a little about where you're going before you arrive. Dress codes at temples, tipping customs, how to greet people. Every country has social norms that aren't hard to learn if you spend 20 minutes looking. One that catches people off guard constantly, especially in Asia and Hawaii, is shoes come off at the door. Temples, homes, salons, sometimes small shops. There's a rack outside and you leave them there. Wear slip-ons. You'll be doing it 30 times a day. On language, you don't need to be fluent. Learn hello, thank you, please, excuse me, I'm sorry, do you speak English, and where's the bathroom? Excuse me and sorry especially. You will bump into people, cut the wrong line, step on someone in a crowded train. Have those ready. The effort matters more than how well you do it. In France, I would attempt French with absolute disregard for the pronunciation, and 9 times out of 10, the person would switch to English faster than if I'd just asked in English to begin with. I think they appreciated the effort and also couldn't bear to watch me continue. Either way, it worked. Download Google Translate's offline pack before you go. The camera mode that translates text through your lens in real time is genuinely one of the best travel tools ever made. Another thing you should do is prep your house. You'll be on a plane somewhere and suddenly think, did I leave the stove on? Handle it before you go. Unplug what you don't need. Put lights on a timer. Stop your mail. A pile of it is a sign to anyone watching that nobody's home. Plants in the bathtub with an inch of water if you'll be gone a while. They'll drink what they need. Pets need an actual confirmed plan. Clear the fridge. Take out the trash. Coming home to that smell after a great trip is a hard landing. And tell someone your itinerary. Country, dates, emergency contact. 30 seconds really matters. Remember that Peru trip? No signal, no data, and everything was digital, which meant I had no hotel confirmation, no booking reference, nothing I could show anyone. I stood at a front desk trying to describe a reservation I couldn't prove existed. One printed piece of paper fixes all of that. Copy everything: passport, visa, insurance policy, hotel confirmations, flight details, any health documentation required for entry. Print a set, email a set, give a copy to someone at home. Know where your country's nearest embassy is. These are the things you hope to never need and will be extremely glad you have if you do. Mindset. This is the one nobody puts on a list, and it's the one that matters most. International travel is disorienting. Things won't work the way you expect. You will get lost, something will go wrong. Travelers who have the best experiences aren't the ones with the most perfect trips. They're the ones who can hold their plans loosely, stay curious, and see the wrong turn as part of the adventure instead of a failure. You did the work. You got the insurance, the passport, the offline maps, the small bills, the tights. Now let go a little. That's my 12. Drop anything I missed in the comments. Share this with whoever in your life is about to travel internationally for the first time. Thank you. Hit the subscribe button to come along on the next adventure, and I'll see you out there, Romies. Remember, go get lost on purpose.